We all face setbacks and obstacles at certain points on our journeys. How do you respond to setbacks? Do you choose to keep going, or do you give up easily? Do you learn from your mistakes? Do you do what it takes to push through and succeed?
Wolftelligence!
Welcome back to the podcast. My name is R.E. On this episode, how do you respond to setbacks? On your journey, on your obstacle course that is life, maybe you'd call it an uphill battle or a climb, we're always facing obstacles. We will always have setbacks, and these test us. These make us stronger. You won't be able to avoid all obstacles. There are definitely some obstacles that you can avoid, not make certain mistakes or not make the same mistake over and over again. But there are some obstacles that you will have to face head on and overcome. They will be in your path on your kind of hero's journey that is your life, or if you want to call it an obstacle course. And some examples of setbacks are breaking a good habit or breaking a bad habit. And here's an example. If you quit smoking or drinking but you relapsed, that is a setback. You thought your journey was just going to be smooth sailing ever since you quit. But you didn't. You relapsed, you smoked, or you drank when you told yourself you wouldn't. And first, it's important to just forgive yourself. Understand that you are human, that you're not perfect. If you were perfect, that you wouldn't be here right now. Nobody is perfect. And put it into a larger perspective. Think about where you were a month ago, a year ago. Are you making more progress than you were then? Put it all in the bigger perspective. Give yourself credit for the little victories and the smaller victories that have added up and have spiraled or snowballed into you becoming just a better person, a more confident person, and more grounded in your truth and your values. And the journey is everything. It's all about the journey. The setbacks, the obstacles are what make the journey more interesting. None of these movies about the hero's journey or even your life on the hero's journey would be interesting if there were no challenges, no obstacles to overcome. If everything was just smooth sailing, nobody would watch and it wouldn't be as fun. But we don't like to admit that in the moment. And this is a personal example from my life. The setback that I faced, one of the biggest setbacks that I faced, was going through depression and anxiety. And this was one of the biggest setbacks, one of the biggest obstacles in my way, and I couldn't get by it by avoiding it. That was actually how part of the reason it was caused, because I kept avoiding it. I didn't want to deal with my mental health straight on, and I used it to, what I would say was, ignite my self-love engines, go on this self-love experiment, this self-love journey, mental health journey of personal development and writing poetry and meditating and cold showers and really finding self-love for myself. So that was one way that I used this setback, this obstacle, to then make myself stronger, to learn all these lessons from my mistakes, because this depression and anxiety for me was self-caused. I couldn't let go of the past. I didn't know how to detach and let things go, and I didn't know how to reframe my mind and reprogram my mind to be more positive, to be more loving, to plant seeds of love in my mind's garden. And these are all just some valuable lessons that I have learned from setbacks, and I've learned to respond to setbacks and respond to failures in a positive way to learn more. So, tell me, how do you respond to setbacks? Are you going to become stronger from facing these setbacks head on and learning these lessons? Do you choose to show up or give up? When things get rough, are you going to show up or give up? Those are really the only two options. You're going to either keep going or you're going to stop when it gets rough, when you hit a speed bump, when you hit a setback or an obstacle. And another important thing to know is there's no such thing as a failure. There is no such thing as a failure if you learn from your mistakes, and that's a big if. If you learn from your mistakes and keep going. If you don't learn from your mistakes and you keep making the same mistake, or if you just give up and stop, yes, that is a failure. But if you keep going, there is no such thing as a failure. Learn from your mistakes and keep leveling up. That's not it. That's not a failure. A failure is all in your mind if you choose to give up. So it's a lot easier to give up when things get rough. I'm not going to say that it's not, but do you have that inner motivation, that inner fire, that intrinsic motivation that what you're doing is right for you and you feel like you're helping people? Well, that'll really help you show how you respond to setbacks. So answer me this. How do you respond to setbacks? How do you respond when life gets rough? When you hit a bump, when you hit an obstacle on your path, on your journey? Do you choose to face it head on, or are you going to choose to run away and give up?